Hey, what's up, everyone? Hey, this is Cody Bjugan, and I'm here today with Lisa, who's a part of our VestRight team. Lisa, say hi to everyone.
Hello.
Well, today, her and I are going to collaborate, chat, do some Q&A related to what we believe to be one of the best kept secrets when it comes to different real estate models, and a real estate model that you can do as a side hustle. And the thing is, in our marketplace today, and a lot of people are working on different business models that are real estate, and they are side hustles, right? It could be that they're doing it above and beyond their W-2. It could be that they're doing this side hustle above and beyond their normal day-to-day business that they own and run. But real estate is a great vehicle as a side hustle. But here's the thing about the most common, what I believe the most common problems are with the real estate models you hear most about, right? You hear a lot about house wholesaling, right? Everybody is out there teaching house wholesaling. And guess what? There's a ton of people out there trying to do it too. Same thing with apartment syndication. I'm a big believer in apartments and in owning real estate and having a portfolio. But the thing is that here again, endless individuals are out there teaching how to do apartment syndications. And what happens is when there's all these people out there teaching these models, that creates what you could call a red ocean, where we see the model that we're going to talk about today as a blue ocean. And why is that? Well, it's actually pretty simple. It's because that I know of, I'm the only one out there teaching this model. And I'm teaching a model that I've done for the last 20 years. So that's what we're going to dive into today. So I have a lot of friends that are house wholesalers, and nothing against the business model. But guess what? Get in line. There's a house wholesaler on every street corner. And not only is there a house wholesaler on every street corner, they're stacked 10 deep. They're in line behind each other. So it's a model, but it's a model that you won't catch me doing. And I'm going to tell you a couple reasons why. First is the whole way you make money wholesaling, say, houses, is that you got to go find motivated, desperate sellers and make a quick buck on their unfortunate situation. So, because what they do is you go and you buy this, you tie up this house for below market value, and then they're quickly flipping it to an investor, a cash buyer, say for 10 or 15 grand more. And the investor he's all for doing the deal because he's still probably getting it below market. That's how they make their money, right? So they don't make their money by really improving the value of the asset, right? Through sweat equity or through actually making capital improvements. They do it by buying below market value. And for me and my legacy, I just don't want that to be my business model, because we believe that property owners, their legacy is very, very important, and we need to take care of them. You know, when we go buy land that has development potential, which I already I gave you a little tidbit right there of what we're going to talk about today, but we care about that property owner's legacy. There's a good chance that that property is the most valuable asset in their family. And it's going to be a huge transaction as far as the legacy. And I want to protect that. I want to honor that. But here's the second part why I say house wholesaling is not a model for me. Let's talk about someone that wants to potentially do it as a side hustle. They want to do real estate as a side hustle. Well, the challenge with something like house wholesaling, where you're making 10, 15 grand a transaction, maybe a little more in certain cases, and there's a ton of competition. Like I said, everybody's on the street. I mean, every other person I run into on the street corner is a house wholesaler. I'm exaggerating, but you get my point. Is that it's really, really competitive, and you got to do a ton of transactions to create any type of substantial side hustle income. And so that's what that does, is it puts you in a position where it's a side hustle, but you're chasing your tail. We actually call it a hamster wheel. You're on the hamster wheel, and you got to do so many transactions to see the financial fruit that you want. And then what happens is you start neglecting other pillars of your life. And I'm a big person of, I work a lot on personal development. And just because you make a lot of money, it doesn't mean you're successful. I mean, you see all the time, oh, that guy's successful, that gal's successful, and you're talking about their money or their career. You can make all the money in the world, have a great career, and be horribly unsuccessful. The way you're successful is you stay above the line on all the different pillars of life. Well, if your side hustle is something where you're chasing your tail, you're on the hamster wheel, very, very difficult to maintain success in all the pillars of your life. How much time you spend with your kids? How much time you spend with your wife? How's your health? How's your hobbies? There's so many other pillars that it's really hard to maintain success in all the pillars, in my opinion, with that type of side hustle.
Yeah, that makes sense. So a lot of cons there. Can you go into the benefits of what a side hustle should look like? And then you can.
Okay. And so we won't dive into apartment syndicating, but it's a similar thing where everybody and their mom's doing it. Everybody's teaching it. It's extremely competitive. And I will tell you though, I like apartment syndicating more than I like house wholesaling. Okay. Let's just make that clear. But let's talk about a side hustle that I would encourage. Well, a side hustle I would encourage is one that it's a side hustle you can do virtually, right? Which understand, now I will say house wholesaling and apartment syndicating, you can do virtually. You can do from your laptop or your phone in your basement or wherever. So they have that going for them, okay? Because you need that flexibility, okay? But I think what's more important is what's your return on investment as far as your time, okay? Because I don't want you to sacrifice the other pillars of your life. And I've been there. I've done that. 20 years ago, for many years, I sacrificed many other pillars of my life for my career and for finances. And I don't believe in regrets because I've learned from all my mistakes, or I try to learn from all my mistakes. But that is one mistake I'm not interested in making again. And that is sacrificing my family or my health or my hobbies. And so what is a side hustle where my return on investment as far as time is extremely, extremely fruitful? And I'll tell you, I would start off by how do I actually bring value to the transaction? And with the model that we're speaking of that I believe in, and it's what I do and it's what I teach. Now we do it full time and we're scaled all over the country, and we have a team and so on and so forth. But there was a time when it wasn't that way, right? And you can totally be a one-man show if you, or I should say one person show if you want to be. But here's the thing, you can go and do one transaction, just one transaction with my business model, and I mean, it might pay you 50 times, 100 times, maybe 25. But I'll just say in a lot of our marketing, you see the types of paydays we make. And so what happens is I don't have to be on that hamster wheel or chasing my tail to get up to making mid 6 figures or even 7 figures, because I can do it with one transaction.
Yeah, that's amazing. So can you go into a little bit more why your model is better than apartment syndication or house wholesaling?
Yeah. Well, one I would say is just because it takes a whole lot less transactions to create a substantial financial impact in your life, right? Because here's the reality: your finances is one of the pillars, right? And so to me, that's a huge difference, right? I have a lot of real estate professionals in my network. I know many apartment syndicators, many house wholesalers, many of this and that and the other. And I'll tell you, they all love our model. But the thing is that, so we talk about these big paydays, right? Well, that's one huge difference. I mean, game's over right there. Okay. So it would be, but it's because I didn't touch on this a moment ago. It's because you bring value to the transaction. See, we're in the value add business. Okay. We're not in the business of going and buying something below market value to make a few bucks. Okay. We're in the business of paying market value for that raw land. We haven't really got into the business model yet, but the raw land that has development potential. And then what we do is we get it through what's called the governmental approval process or the entitlement process, and we turn it into an approved development. So we took a piece of raw land and we turned it into an approved development. That's where all the value is. that's where the big paydays are. And they're earned, and they're deserved. And our buyers are ecstatic to pay us what they pay us because we brought so much value to the transaction.
So what are the typical paydays like when you're able to add that kind of value?
So, I mean, we have a couple of different things we're doing now. I mean, when I started VestRight back in 2019, over 3 years ago now, the whole idea was just PIF, my personal slogan, purpose, impact, fulfillment. I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to serve a purpose, make an impact, and through that bring me tremendous fulfillment. And that's working, and it's wonderful. But along that journey, we've also had people, students of ours and whatnot, that they want to partner with us. So now we have a situation where because of that, there's opportunities where you can partner with us and we do all the heavy lifting. Or you can go do these deals completely on your own because we teach A to Z how to do exactly what we do. And so, I mean, what are our paydays? I'll just say the smallest payday we've received in a long, long time, which probably was, I don't know how long ago that was, 4 years ago, 5 years. I don't know how, something like that. I think we made like $300,000 and we were in the deal for, I don't know, 90 days. But I mean, we have deals recently that we made over 5 million on, right? So I'll just tell you for my company and what we're doing, we really don't consider any deals that we can't make at least 7 figures going through that process. But there's nothing wrong with making $100,000, right? Like when I first started doing this, I was doing smaller deals, and it was great to be able to go make $100,000 on one transaction. So I don't want to discourage that, right? Like it's okay starting small, right, or smaller, and kind of growing into it. But I mean, yeah, it's definitely a 6-7 figure business model, no question.
Yeah. So what you're telling me is that if I can find raw land that has development potential and then add value to it and then bring it to the home builder, I could potentially make $100,000 or 300. Or
I would say
more.
at a minimum, right?
Yeah.
If you didn't make at least that, then you did something wrong. And so, and I can't speak for, what is that disclaimer I got to throw out? This isn't typical, right? I don't want to get myself in trouble.
Right.
I can only speak to my paydays, but yeah, I mean, there's wonderful potential. All right. So hopefully you found that little Q&A with Lisa and I valuable. You're enticed, you're interested, you want to learn more. Well, we want to hear that. If you are looking for a real estate side hustle and you think this might be for you, and it might go from a side hustle into you're going to do it full time like myself, I don't know. But my point is, I want to hear from you. We want to hear from you. So do me a favor, leave a comment below and we'll engage with you. Also, if you found this content valuable, please do me a favor. Will you share it? Will you like it? Will you subscribe to my channel? Like, I'm very convicted on that we are here for PIF, purpose, impact, fulfillment. We want to make an impact. And so the best way that I know how to do that is for our content to get out there and spread. I would very much appreciate it. All right. With that said, take care. All right. See ya.